Hey guys, I'm just here chillaxing on the couch. I'm watching the Lakers game. They're getting ready to start. Gonna pop open a little wazza wazza. Because you gotta have a little wazza wazza when you're watching the Lakers game, right? Anyway, I'm gonna answer a quick question. I got a couple of questions from Punjabi128. Punjabi128. And he asked me a couple questions about the Army. And I'm gonna try to answer them here in a video and give you all the information. Now, I do want to preface this with the fact that I did get out of Army recruiting in '98 and got out of the Army at the end of '99. So it's been a while, I'm a little rusty. You can Google search anything about Army, Rangers, infantry, all of that. Use Google for everything. They didn't have, Google and all that when I entered the Army. But use it for all of that. But anyway, so I really don't know what the options and the programs are today, because it was like, 12 years ago when I got out. 13 years ago I got out of recruiting. But I'm going to give you what I remember when I was in recruiting. Okay, that's what I'm going to give you, what I remember when I was in recruiting. In 95 to 98 is when I did recruiting. Now, one of the things he asked me is there any way you can go straight to RIP and become an Army Ranger, or do you have to be a grunt before you sign up for the Rangers? RIP is Ranger Indoctrination Program. That's where they indoctrinate you into the Rangers. See if you're ready to go into become a Ranger school. Grunt, that would be 11 Bravo, 11 Bang Bang infantry. Now, one of the things I want to say too is before you do any of this, make sure to study your math, English, science, all of that. Study it. Be real good at it because, well, I looked at your age. He said he's 19, probably out of high school now, but still you can study up on your math, your science, and some of your English. And when I say English, I'm talking about like writing composition and stuff. Because when you take the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or the ASVAB, if you haven't taken it yet, make sure to do well on that test. Take it real serious and to do real well on it. Because I've heard people say, when I was a recruiter, I heard people say, yeah, if you don't do very good on the ASVAB test, if you like score low, they just put you in the infantry. That is a farce. That's somebody that don't know what the hell they're talking about. They got their head up their seating place and they don't know what they're talking about. Because you have to do well on the ASVAB, or at least really good, to be in the infantry, or to be considered for the infantry. I'll tell you why. Look at all the electronics they use. They have these like night sensors on their helmet, and night vision lasers, and cameras, and they have a camera you put on the end of your rifle barrel. Put the barrel around the corner, bring a lens down over your eye, and you can see what's around the corner. I mean, you have to be technically proficient to use a lot of this electronic and computerized equipment. So you really have to do well in the ASVAB even to be considered the infantry. Now, when I was in, I actually had a guy from one of the high schools. He was one of my DEP guys in the Army that was in the Ranger program. He went to basic, and then he went to infantry school. You still have to go to infantry school. You still have to go to be an infantry or a grunt. You still have to do that anyway. And then he went, but he joined the Army to be a Ranger. Okay, ask your recruiters about that. The Army Ranger program, or I don't know if they're separate, but there's also the Airborne Ranger program. That's where you become an Airborne Ranger and you can jump out of airplanes. Knees in the breeze, PLF. HooooAhhhh. Just don't be a cherry jumper. A cherry jumper is like a, 5-jump chump. You know, you do your 5 jumps and that's it. You don't jump anymore. No, come on, jump out of planes. I've done it. I've done skydiving. It's amazing, man. But anyway, so yeah, you can join to be a Ranger. He went to basic, then he went to his infantry school. You still have to do that. And then he was assigned to a Ranger unit and trained with them for 12 months before they thought he was ready, and they sent him to RIP and then, of course, to Ranger school. So you still have at least a 12 months of training with them before you can go to Ranger school. But you can join on that program and just go right through into it. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to join the infantry and then put in for ranger school. You can join the army, or you could when I was in, to be a ranger. Okay, so you go to infantry school and then you train with the rangers for 12 months because they don't want to just send you to ranger school. They want to make sure you're ready. They want to make sure you're ready. Okay, and we'll get to that in a second because you asked about that too. So yes, you can do that, or you could when I was in. And he asked, how should you prepare for ranger school? Run, 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 run. Run everywhere. Run to the bathroom. Yeah. No, run everywhere. Run to school. Run to the store. Run to get the mail. Run back in the house. Run everywhere. You want to run. Rangers run everywhere. Rangers don't walk. They have a thing called the Ranger Walk. You know what the Ranger Walk is? Running, right? No. They did have the Ranger Walk. I don't remember. I think it was running, or maybe it was walking really fast. But they run everywhere. Everywhere. You want to try to build yourself up to where you can run like 7 to 10 miles and easy. And I'm not talking run real fast. Jogging. You know, even just jogging. Just at a normal pace. You want to be able to run 7 to 10 miles. And just be like, whew, I feel good about that one. You know, you really do. You don't want to be too winded. You ever go on a battalion commander's run or a brigade, a general? You ever go on a general's run? Those high officers like colonels and generals, they like to run 7 to 10 miles. They do. You think I'm kidding? Ask some guys that have been in for a while. So I know I've got military guys who watch my videos. Ask them about the colonel's run. Fucking 11 miles. It's like, God, where are we? We're in backcountry here. So run everywhere. Build it up. A lot of push-ups. You know, a lot of guys try to lift weights and try to build their muscles. And you can do that too. Definitely. But you want to do the actual motion of pushing up. Push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. Push-ups in the morning. Push-ups in the afternoon. Push-ups before you go to bed at night. Do 100. I'm serious. You say, well, I can't do 100. Then you do as many as you can to 100 till your body just collapses and you go, I can't do no more. You know, do as many as you can. What happens is over time you'll go from 20 to 40 to 60 to, you possibly could do 60, 75 push-ups. Push-ups all the time. Sit-ups, do those. But running and push-ups all the time. Chin-ups. Okay. And then you asked, he asked, can you pick what base you get stationed at, or do you just go to the needs of the Army? I'm not sure. You'll have to ask your recruiter about that, or you can Google it, search it. But I will tell you, when I was in, they did have the European option. I don't know how many Rangers they have in Europe, though. I don't think you can actually, I mean, if you joined on the Ranger program, you'll probably have to be stationed in the U.S. first. And you'll either, I guess, be at Fort Bragg or Fort Lewis, Washington. You'll probably be at one of those two bases, Bragg or Lewis, Washington. But they did have the European option where I joined. I joined, and it was in my contract, guaranteed I would go to Germany after my schooling. And I did. I did for 3 years. But if you want to join on the Ranger program, you're either going to go Fort Bragg or Fort Lewis, Washington, or Fort Benning, Georgia. You may go Fort Benning, Georgia is where you may go. That's where the infantry school is, and you may stay there. But the guy that I put in the Army went to Fort Lewis, Washington. That's where he was stationed, and he trained with a Ranger unit there for a year and then went to Ranger school. So you never know. If you go to Washington, take an umbrella. Okay. Hopefully that answered your questions. Hopefully this isn't too long. If you have any more questions, definitely ask. Definitely ask. Thank you.